Hello, 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 everyone. Happy New Year. We are back. So, welcome to the book bar, where our favorite thing to do is talk about it, books, and let's talk about it. And then we throw in a little bit of wine sometimes. And if you're not a wine drinker, we got teas, we got coffees, and then all kinds of stuff, because lately these stories that we've been reading has been requiring a little bit more than wine. Sometimes it requires a shot of bourbon or or brandy. So anyway, we got it all here at the book bar. So I'm going to always give you a story. Give you a review, and then I'm going to also give you something to pair it with. Something I think that might go with it. But anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome again. Thank you, Miss Sharon C. Cooper. We always love when you come to the book bar and hang out with us. We absolutely love you.
I always enjoyed myself.
I know. And then you're doing some, I don't know what you're doing to us, but people, y'all come on in here and let's talk about it, because I want y'all to have some questions that y'all can ask Sharon, because y'all, this Priestley family, I do not know what she is doing to us, but we're going to talk about it anyway. All right. Don't forget to leave the back door open for the rest of the book buddies. Tag them, like this live, and tell them to get on in here, because we're talking about the Priestley family. All right. Okay. All right. Sharon, what's been going on?
Just trying to keep up.
Just trying to keep up. Oh my goodness. So if you guys know anything about Sharon's history or her catalog, Sharon is always going to give us a dynamic family. It's going to be full of emotions. It's going to be some fun times. It's going to be some suspenseful times. And then, of course, she is the mastermind behind the Atlanta's Finest, which is also a fan favorite. And what is the other series that you have? I know the name of the books, but I don't know the series you call it. This is the one.
Yep. I had the Reunited series.
Yep.
Reunited series, Jenkins and Sons.
Yep.
Finding Love series.
Yep.
What else I have? Those are the ones that popped up, and then the Priestley family.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you guys, she's got something for everybody to love. But let's just get started with this one thing, because Sharon, every time we talk, I know one thing for sure that's going to happen is we're going to laugh. We're going to have us some fun, right?
True.
Okay. So let me just ask you this, if it applies. Okay. So and this also, too, guys, she will also have you thinking your life's moments all over again, too, with some of these characters. But on a scale from 1 to Lord, take the wheel, how emotionally intense was surrendering to you to write?
There were a couple of scenes. There were a couple of scenes that I won't say it was emotionally intense, but I wanted to make sure that it read like emotion, where a reader would experience the emotions. But for me, as writing them, there might have been only one that kind of took a minute, because I just really wanted to get it right. I really wanted to make sure I was using the words, the feelings, or whatever, where the reader would feel what they felt. Reader would feel what Cree and Tristan was feeling.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't know. Yeah, for the most part, it didn't. The scenes didn't shake me. Not like some of the suspense stories. Some of the suspense stories are a little more, where I'm going, woo, that was a tough one, But yeah, this one didn't have those type of moments. Yeah.
Okay, so let me before we go further, let me post this out to the readers. So hey y'all, hey Mama Tony, Miss Brenda,
Hey,
hey
you
cousin
guys.
Mary, Delva, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Okay, readers. So if you have read Surrendering to You,
I
tell
hope they
me.
have because I was thinking we might do some spoilers.
Right. Well they know anytime, honey, they come through that back door at the book bar. Sometimes I can't hold myself. I try, y'all, but sometimes I can't. But my intention is always to be good, right? But anyway, so if you have read it, give us some comments about what was your emotional state in reading this book. Was there a favorite scene that you had throughout the book? Just one, and then we're gonna see if it matches up with what Sharon expected us to feel. So
Okay.
just put them in there in the comments when y'all think about it. All right. All right. So Sharon, so okay, what has been the comments that you've been getting from readers about this story, and how different have they been from the other books, like Finding You, Believing in You, and Daring to Love.
There definitely has been a difference. And I think, and that's usually the case with when I do a series. The further I get into the series, the more connected maybe the readers are with the characters. So yeah, then they start looking forward to, and then Cree was different than her siblings anyway. So I think that was part of that had something to do with why it did feel like I received more OMG emails with this story than with some of the other ones. This one, Finding You, was another one where I got a lot of OMG emails, but this one probably was more. I think just because there is a number of things going on in the story. It wasn't just about Cree and Tristan's relationship, but it was, just kind of watching Cree deal with her her attitude, trying to fix her attitude basically. Also her dealing with issues at work. And then
Yeah,
Tristan trying to, figure out this new life without football. So to me, it had a little bit more maybe going on, maybe, than some of the other ones.
yeah. And
Um,
and I don't know if it's also because one of my favorite things, and there were many that I liked about this story, but one of my favorite things was, toward there where you brought in some cameos, like from, with Jordan, and that I think it was like, for me, when that scene happened, and they walked through the door, it was almost like, how you feel when you haven't seen somebody in a long time and then you jump up and want to go to hug them, like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here, right? So it was kind of one of those things. And then
I
so
did
I
get a
mean,
lot with Dominic.
yeah,
A lot of people was like, I can't believe he's in college.
yeah,
And it's so hilarious because, the emails make it sound like he's a real person. Well, he is a real person because based
yeah,
on my nephew, but still, it's hilarious to
yeah,
get the emails and the sentence says, I can't believe Dominic is in college already.
right. Right. And so I don't know if that was there. And so guys, if you're in the comments, if you've read the book, you know about this scene. Was how I don't know the right word I could say, but what was that? How did you feel about that particular cameo that was in there? I think it kind of brightened up, like a light bulb had went on that you reading, because we were so into Tristan and Cree's story, like, oh my God, can they please get it right, kind of thing, totally understood where Cree was coming from. And then as you talked about it, I understood where Tristan was coming from. But had I not known that, I can see where they would have clashed, right? So it seems like when you're writing a story and it's about a love affair, it's always like, okay, if they just communicated, right? But we know they can't have that like that,
Right. That'll be the
right?
whole story. That'll be the end of the story.
Right. There'll be no story to tell, right? And look, let me just say some of this right here. This is how we all felt, Monique, right? That is how we all felt. Thank you for joining us.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. And now that was a aha moment because I did not think that
You didn't see that coming,
that was
huh?
coming. So okay, let's stop right there. Good point, Monique. So when you were writing the story, knowing you, Sharon, you kind of add the ingredients as you go a little bit, which
Sometime, yeah.
we absolutely love that, right? But so when you started out, what came first to you? Let's start there. What came first to you? You had your characters, right? Um, the conflict, you had that.
I had my characters and then I had their occupations. I usually
Okay.
start very early with the occupations just to see if I can build some conflict around their occupations.
Hmm.
And then once I had a few ideas for their conflict, yeah, then I just start writing.
Okay. So now you're writing, you got
Okay.
the conflict, and the main conflict of this story was what?
The main conflict was that Cree felt that he betrayed her.
Okay.
And he knew he handled the situation wrong, but his intentions were good.
Hmm. Hmm.
He just handled it all wrong. And then he miscalculated how she would react.
Hmm.
When he decided to when he got caught up with this, this other agent saying all that he can do for his career, he got caught up. And
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
he was thinking like, man, me and Cree would be set for life.
Yeah.
However, Cree didn't give him a chance to explain that was in his mind, that him going to a bigger, more well known, I guess, for lack of a better
Mhm.
word, agent had nothing to do with, what he thought, didn't have anything to do with her kind of being his agent, because they both were going to win. And at least that's how he saw it.
Yeah.
But she saw it as him kind of ripping the rug from underneath her, before she can even get her business going good. So
Yeah. And I think for her, it was a great opportunity for him because he was that all-star, right? And so,
oh, he
and
was up and coming.
okay.
He had the potential because he was pretty young when all of this took place. And that was
Yeah.
the other thing. They were so young. They
Yeah,
were,
that's true. Yeah.
yeah, they were very 21 and 24, I think it was, or something like that. They were in their early 20s. And so, yeah, they were young, trying to, make adult decisions, and just weren't handling the communication well yet.
Yeah. But now even with that, so that was a conflict in itself, right? That's not a way to start a relationship, right? And
Right?
then you threw in some other stuff. And
Yeah.
so knowing you, how did that train kind of go into that track on that
Yeah,
track?
I'm always trying to figure out what can I do to up the tension, up the emotions, throw a curveball, because my goal is to keep the reader reading,
Right.
so that means I gotta keep coming up with stuff, like coming up with they were once married, just dropping that bomb like at the end of a chapter, like, hold up, wait, what?
Yeah.
And just, keep, figuring out ways to just really grab hold of the reader and just try not to let go.
Yeah. And but I think though too, you had your roux with the whole initial conflict, but you spiced it up when you put them other two things in there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like, it was
So you
one
were
of
surprised with those
I
other couple of
yeah,
things? Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I was surprised. They were a good surprise too, and I feel like they made the story intense the story just a little bit. And I'm wondering if with all of that you put in there, plus the cameo, if that was what left a lasting, memorable thing when we read, the end.
I
And
think so. I
yeah,
think so. There was quite a bit going on, I think.
yeah. Now, and then Crean herself too. When we met her as we were reading all of this, the siblings, meeting all the siblings, she was still like that wild card. We didn't really know too much about her, and we knew that she stayed on the outside, like she had a secret to tell all the time.
Right.
And did she have secrets? Yes, she did. She had some secrets. And then there were so many, so many, so many, so many good moments in there. What was a favorite scene in the book for you?
For me, definitely with Dominic showing up.
Yeah.
I was so looking for it. It was like trying to find a perfect place for that. That was one of my favorites. Cree as an angel. That was one of my favorite scenes. Her coming out as an angel. That was fun actually.
Uh,
What's another? Yeah, those were probably those are the ones that jump out. And I like the epilogue.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Guys, post your favorite scenes too, and your emotions in reading the book. I want to see if we match up with what Sharon expected us to feel. So I'll go and do mine. So I first of all, I love family.
Mm.
I love, love, love family series, and the more unique they are, the better. Tell you guys this all the time. But one of the emotions I think that hit me was which is my favorite thing, is when Cree and Essence began to talk. Those conversations that they have. You know what I'm saying? I love their relationship. And so when I got done reading the book, I felt like, here's a unique family that have so realistic enough to know that if they drop down here on earth right now, you would have no problem adopting them as family. Yeah, so that was my thing. Now I don't know if when you're writing your stories, do you expect for readers to want to become part of their family?
I
Um,
hope. I always hope that readers will embrace the characters and feel like they know them, because then the story is more enjoyable. Then.
mhm.
So of course, I always hope you just when you're writing a story that you just never know how
Yeah,
it's gonna how it's gonna be received or how things are gonna come across because you might mean it to come across one way, somebody might interpret it a different way. It's
yeah,
always hit or miss. But of course, as an author, you want the readers to either love or love hate, characters. You want them to feel something for them.
right, right, right. Well, we absolutely did. Now, Cindy, hey, welcome. So she wrote, she seemed judgmental in other books until we got her story. And I tend to agree, but I'm going to add to that. I'm going to say that by Cree being a little bit older than the ones that we read about initially, the siblings we read about initially, you kind of felt until you got her story, you kind of felt like she had it all together. Like she had it all going on, that her stuff was, her skirt was pencil straight, no wrinkles at all. And then when you get the story, you be like, oh, does have a few wrinkles in there. But yeah, I totally
Like
agree.
everybody else has issues.
Yeah. Um, but and then again, now I got from her having those little talks with Essence. Now I kind of feel like now I'm really eager to hear her story because I felt like the two of them kind of like got their secrets aside from all the other siblings, and they got some kind of sister code that don't nobody else know about, right? You know what I mean? So I can't wait until to see that one. Yeah. Let me see here. Let's see.
That reminds me, I did enjoy the sisters where all the sisters were together at S's house.
Right.
I enjoy writing that scene too, because then you can kind of drop in a little bit of each of their personalities.
Mm-hmm. But then she came in and she was venting, and then she had to tell her whole story to all of the rest of them because
You didn't know they were there.
But okay, so Monique said her favorite scene is Tristan. Oh yeah. That was a yes.
With the uncle.
I'm telling you, but Sharon, you get yourself in trouble, y'all. She gonna get herself in trouble, right? Because here's the thing, though, that uncle. Now
I even pulled it back some. I didn't even put everything I originally wrote.
Honey, look, when that uncle came out and he was doing all of that cussing, I said, "Oh yeah, we need him." And I don't know if I came to you directly and say, "What you gonna do with that uncle?" And you was already backtracking, like, "No, I'm not gonna do anything
I
with
already
him."
knew. I'm like, he is not getting the story. He may never show
Why
up.
would you put it like that? You sprinkle all of that. You sprinkle all of that little funny dust on him, and then
that was for me. That was so I could have a few laughs myself while I was writing.
Okay, and that's like that other laugh you had at the end of Finding You too.
Yeah, it was so funny because after Finding You, when they saw what's her name, Dory and Lennox running through the backyard, everybody was asking like, what were they doing out there? What happened? What did they see? I'm thinking like, I have no idea. I just got carried away.
Look, but that uncle, you gave a whole character description of him. We already fell in love with him. We want him at our next barbecue because, Lord, the suspenders did it for me.
I'm telling you, sometimes you get the typing and you're like, oh, this would be funny, and then you just keep going. But I did pull some back. I'm like, he is not getting a story. He is not a significant character. Let me, reel him back in a little.
Well, you didn't pull back enough, honey, because he already my uncle. I know. Look, he getting the invitation to the next barbecue, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that. Okay, so now we're laughing, and now Mama Tony, here's some emotions here. Truly, this was one thing that was one of the ones that kind of pulled at your heartstrings because of what I said earlier from me about the both of them, because you think you're going to deal with that one little thing about him betraying her. And if that wasn't enough, right? And then you find out about this, and then, my gosh. I love Tristan, though. I loved him. I loved how he handled himself. And I learned, after he figured out what he had did and how it impacted her, I liked how he tried to, recover the fumble. And he kept going.
Oh, look at you. Using a
look, look, something. Oh yeah, that's okay. Keep it coming, right?
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
that one wasn't in my notes.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, these are all those spices, those added spices that you had put in there. Like I said, like as if the betrayal wasn't enough, you just kept adding and adding and adding in this one here. Me too, Monique. Okay. All right, honey. Yes. Another from the congregation says the uncle needs a story. There we go. All right. Hallelujah.
Oh,
there's another.
See, this is what I get.
But you can't help yourself. And we all here for it.
Yeah, okay, maybe I should have him show up at Dorian's wedding or something. Let me write myself a note.
Yeah, something. Let him show up and Dorian. So how many more books we got to go on here?
This is it. This is number 5. Although a story idea popped into my head as I'm gonna keep writing. So I know for sure it's a total of 5
Okay.
priestly stories. So Essence is next, but there might be another one. Maybe.
Okay. All right. So yeah, have him show up at the wedding.
Okay.
And then I don't know, maybe I don't know, somewhere else.
I'll surprise you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yay, y'all. Thank you.
Well, let me
rephrase
that. I'll see if I can surprise you. Sometimes stuff just doesn't come. So we'll see. No
Okay.
promises.
Okay. Speaking of 5 books, okay, so let me go back, and I know we've talked about this again, but now that we are coming down to the end of the series, and I want to know what prompted you about the Priestley series, it being one book in either one book or 5 books. What made you do the 5 books?
Yeah, I like family series. I really enjoy them. When I started thinking about the Priestley family, it was definitely going to be totally different than the way it's gone. One, it was going to be a little closer to sweet, a little sweeter, not like closed door, scenes or whatever, but still, it was going to be definitely sweeter than some of my books. That was one thing. The plan was to make the story shorter. That didn't happen. I wanted to test out the book covers to try something different than just having people on the cover. I wanted to do a few crossovers between my series, other series. I wanted to see how that would work and see, if anybody would notice for one. So I was just kind of playing around with the idea of the Priestley when I was coming up with those things. And it went a little bit the way I wanted, but I didn't stick with my original plan for the series. Yeah, because they were going to be like a little longer than novella, but not, 70, 75,000 words stories. So.
Yeah. Okay. And then let's talk about the covers too, because those covers were amazing. So what vision did you have for that? And here let's look at some of these covers that you.
I wanted to do covers that pulled either like a scene from the story or see if or like hinted to what the story is going to be about.
This one right here was spot on, by the way.
Yeah, and I almost had 2 sets of shoes or booties, but then I was like, you know what? Let me just do one set, and then that could be a surprise that they're twins, So
yeah. And then in here, this one was just so elegant right there, like
this is probably my favorite, even though it was supposed to be a bedroom scene, and it just didn't work out. So this is like this is what happens. Yeah.
But
so I think if I remember correctly, that's actually a breakfast tray and then a bedding behind it. But it looks more like it's something outside actually. So yeah. This was the cover designer's idea. Because I didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah.
And then so she sent me all of these choices. She's like, what about this? What about this? And then I just like, man, I gotta have a piano. So then I had to create a scene with the piano because I didn't have a scene.
I was gonna say.
But I was like, I just love the boldness of the cover. And I was like, okay, we could do something with this,
Right. Because when I first saw this, I was like, not knowing the story, but this when you did the cover reveal, I was like, I wonder if somebody's going to be playing, because musicians are in the believing in you.
Yeah.
I said, okay, so what's going to be happening with
Now, see,
here?
this would have been perfect for them.
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, the covers are definitely nice. I do love the uniqueness in it, because you switch it up a little bit. I like that. Uh,
Okay. I appreciate that feedback because,
yeah,
you yeah, it's always trying to, you try different things to see what works.
yeah. Now,
And I
Mama
was
Tony is another. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say Mama Tony is another one who wants that. But we
oh,
only got one more story left, Mama Tony. So she got to pour it all in
yeah,
there.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to bring Idris, give him a little cameo.
Yeah. But you said, like, with the covers, and you said you always trying to bring in, different stuff.
Yeah, you try different things to see what works. Of course, I'm always trying to get more readers. It's like, well, maybe I'll try something different. Maybe it'll appeal to, some new readers, or, you try different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how hard is it for you to be as a writer, when you're writing different things, like, you always want to try to keep it, fresh, right? Because, we can be a mess sometimes, us readers, we can be a mess sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So, so how do you keep it fresh? Because you have so far.
When I'm writing or coming up with ideas, the biggest thing is I just don't want it to be like, I don't want all of my stories to be exactly like the one before it. And I also want to stand out where, if you read one of my books, you can tell the difference between somebody else's book. I don't know, we all have our favorite authors or styles of writing, authors who write a certain style that appeals to us. And with that, as an author, it's like, okay, what can I do to stand out a little bit? What can so I try to add a few surprises in a story. I try to make sure every character feels unique. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Where you can remember their names because you remember who they are. It's not. It shouldn't be, at least. It shouldn't be two Lazarus. It shouldn't be two guys that act the same as Lazarus does.
Yeah.
Or Martina or whatever. You
Oh,
want
true.
Yeah. It's like I really work hard at trying to make each character unique. Sometimes it goes over well, sometimes it doesn't. Good or bad. Some are gonna be a little more timid, some are gonna be a little in your face. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think, as far as characters, I think yours are pretty unique, like, all of them. And I mean, you've tried some new stuff. You've tried, like, rom-com. You've tried, family really well. So, and then you tried, like, the new covers, and then you tried a little softer side of the family, because the Jenkins family is definitely a fan favorite, I think.
Oh yeah.
But they are very in your face kind of thing. Like, they're memorable. Like, they
Okay.
they they walk in the room and there's just no question who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
There's
right.
that. But then I think with the Priestley family, a little bit different. You know what I mean? Because they're more, you know, they don't have that. They don't have those jobs where they're like the family, working the family business, except for Dorian.
Yeah.
Dorian is kind of family business too. And how important is that to you to have a family business? Because I noticed that you did with the B&B is their thing.
Yeah. It wasn't intentional. I think because I grew up with a family business.
Okay.
And most of my siblings have their own business. So I think it's just embedded, or I don't know if that's the right word, in my DNA. And so when I'm planning a story or a series, it kind of like just happens. It's not intentional, but it just
Yeah.
kind of just happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, King, welcome to the shenanigans. So glad you're here. Hello there, author Monica
Hey,
Gardner. My Taurus twin there. Welcome.
Monica.
Thank you for joining us. Um, Yeah, I agree, Monique. And
Thank
then
you.
hey there, Renata. Thank you for joining us. It's been a minute. I think Monica had said something about Tristan's growth. I think both of the characters, we saw some growth with both of those characters because um, definitely with Tristan, but with Cree, I think Cree had to learn that she was not alone in situations. You know what I mean? So she's so used to carrying the load herself without anybody's input. So I think she had to learn. And I think it started with that sister chat there because then now she's got to let it all hang out. Like everybody's got to
Yeah.
see her flaws now. You know what I mean? Like she's not
Yeah.
perfect.
And she's a little arrogant. So, admitting to some things kind of knocked her down a couple of pegs.
Yeah. Let's see, let's bring up some more comments here. Oh, hey there. Hey, Ola. You're not late, honey. We still here. Wait a minute. What the auntie? Yeah. So Miss Virginia's
Gigi.
yeah.
That's the one. And I'm gonna play around with an idea. And you guys can let me know when you read it at Essence Story if you're feeling the idea that, let's just say I have an idea.
Okay, well, we love ideas and we love them even more when they make it between the covers. Finding you, yep, that was a really, really cute one. That was but so was those babies too. And then so Sharon likes finding you, and then King likes the daring cover. Yeah, that one was really nice too. Yeah. I know. That's what I said. She put so many spices in here with this one. Hopefully,
my concern is I hope I didn't put too many in there, and hope I have some for Essence.
Oh, well, look, you just have to make a different dish for Essence.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to work on it.
You can use some of the same spices if you want to, but then we're gonna have a different flavor. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he really put all in though, right? But it wasn't like he wasn't trying for years though, right? You know what I'm saying? She was a stubborn one. She was really a stubborn one. Let's see, who is this? Cree's birthday party with. Oh yes, it was.
That was fun to write.
I was a little nervous because
the private investigator.
And then also too, when all the secrets started coming out, I was like, is everybody supposed to know that? You know, yeah. Oh yeah. Truly. And you know what? I think in all of the series that you write, MJ and Laz probably are wow. Like they're the loudest ones, in your face ones. So no, we don't want too many of those.
Right.
but we can stand to have one in each series though. We can stand to have one in each.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yes. Look,
You guys are reminding me, because I did enjoy writing one of the scenes in her office, where they just, where he just kind of put it all out there, Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that, and how she just kind of kept pushing back. That was fun to write.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought his whole story was good. Hey there, Miss Brenda, honey. Listen, she's always a good book buddy too in here. And she's a good book buddy. But I know she enjoyed it. But if you're just here, Miss Brenda, we talked about like some of our favorite scenes in here. So if you have one that you want to share with us, please do drop it in the comments. Yeah. Hey, Cuzzo, what's going on? Let's see. Absolutely, those characters were so well deserved. I mean, you really felt like you knew them by the end of the book. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's okay. You know, we can always chat anyway. But so you know what? This is going so well. We didn't already talked about and all of the engagement and everything. But I do have a few more questions before we
Okay.
get on out of here, I guess, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
There's so many of them I had to write them down. We talked about your covers. Now the title of the book. Let's talk about that one and let's talk about the other ones as well. So
Okay.
surrendering to you, when you think of surrendering to you, what was in your mind when you was it the story, the title? How did that all
It was
play?
mostly Cree, where she finally just kind of allowed herself to be vulnerable, and just, I, yeah, the title was solely because of how I wanted Cree to just kind of um, let her guards down around Tristan, and then just let whatever happened between them happen without her being so closed off or standoffish or what have you. So yeah, so surrendering to you was solely for
Okay.
her
Okay.
growth and for her kind of letting her guards down.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. And then like the other character the other stories like daring to love you. Who was
Yeah,
that?
that one was a little trickier. Because
Did
it
you
was like in my head, that would probably be actually almost, yeah, daring to love you in my head was what's his name? How come I can't think of his name? I'm having a senior moment. But
what
Dorian's hero. Kind of like, yeah, I kind of had both of them in mind with that their title took me a little longer to come with, just like Essence title is taking
mhm,
me a longer to come up with than all the other ones.
mhm,
Daring to Love You is just, because they had that little deal where they would kind of pretend that they were dating, and you
mhm.
know, and she couldn't see herself falling for the likes of Lennox. Well, I couldn't think of his name.
Oh, Lynn,
Yeah.
I didn't know where you was going with that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Now,
kind of mumbling to myself too, so that's not helping. So I'm like, what
but
is
is
his name?
so daring to you is more for Lennox or more for Dorian?
In my head is more for Dorian. Just because she just couldn't see herself falling for her brother's best friend. And then
Mhm.
somebody who she considered a womanizer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah.
That was yeah. That one took a little longer to come up with. Finding You is probably the easiest one.
Hmm. But was that
Believing in You was a little harder because it's the first book. Everything about the first book is always harder.
yeah. Now
Because you're
going
trying
back
to.
to go ahead.
What
No,
were
I
you
was gonna
gonna
say
say?
going back to finding you, was that more Raven or was it Zion?
That was Zion. Zion. Even though he
Okay.
didn't find her, they just kind of ran into each other. But
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
that
more of him finding her. Yeah.
yeah. And then believing in you.
That one took a while. It's with the first book in a series is always, for me, I always feel like those are my weakest books because I'm still trying to figure out the series, still trying to determine what I want the series to do. And that meant the same with the book titles and the book covers too. You know.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so
you did.
believing in you was a little stretch. Was a pretty big stretch, actually.
And which character were did you have in mind when you
I think it was more of Nyla believing in Harrison, where she knew he was a good guy despite, some of the heartache that he had experienced. I guess it could be for both of them,
I was gonna
really.
say, yeah, because
Yeah, because believing in you for him, the trust. Because I think I played around with some titles that included trusting, like Trusting You or something like that.
No, I like Even in You.
Okay, good.
Because I think it does work for both of them, because Nyla had some issues too. You know, she had to get out of her own way too for her to shine. And in doing so, she brought now I'm having a single moment. Harrison with her. And then Harrison, their story too was kind of like, you know, they had a tumultuous story too. Yeah. So okay, so let's talk about let's just do something fun real quick. So okay, so I'm gonna just ask you a series of questions, and then it's kind of like you just tell me which one the first one comes to mind. Okay. So, and you guys can play along too. Just write your answers in there. So, coffee or tea while writing?
I prefer coffee, but I'm getting older, so I've been trying to embrace tea, but I prefer coffee.
Okay. Quiet room or background noise?
Background noise.
Okay. Favorite trope to write?
Friends to lovers.
Okay.
And then second chance, maybe second chance. Second chance, probably.
Second chance.
I got a ton of second chance ones. Yeah.
Second chance. And then for the reader, since you're not writing, or if you are writing, put that in there for you. But what's your favorite trope to read? Okay, one word to describe the Priestley family. That's for everybody.
One word to describe the Priestley family.
Shay, hey.
Hey, Shay.
She would pick something that wasn't on the menu, right?
Of course she would. One word to describe the Priestley family. Wow, that's a tough one. Maybe. Now I could think of one word to describe the Jenkins family, but the Priestley family is a little harder.
Okay, guys, help her out. Well, what would you? How
maybe
would you?
Committed, or
yeah, that would be
loving. Yeah. Now, if it was the Jenkins, I would say loyal, because they are very loyal. The Priestley family, yeah. The first thing that pops in my mind for the Priestley is loving or committed, maybe. Yeah.
I would go with loving for sure. Loving for sure.
Yeah. Because what you come up with, one word to describe the Priestley family?
I said it was loving, but I wanted to say unique, because
Okay.
I just because they're unique. Because when you talk about like the Jenkins, the Jenkins, they were. It was just they were unique because like the oldest, like the Zion was the youngest, but he portrayed as the big brother, like
right.
like he got to protect everybody, right?
Right.
So I was saying unique, but they were loving. But it committed, yeah, in a way they were with the family, but not so much committed because unlike the Jenkins family, they were committed to the business and to each other.
True. That's true.
But in the Priestley family, they were more kind of out doing their own thing. You know what I mean? So I would just say you and loving.
Okay. I agree with those.
Yeah. Oh, and then Monique says strength. Yeah.
Okay.
It's strength. Okay. And let's see. Brenda likes second chances. True to it. Yes. Very much so. Yeah. I will agree with that. Strong. I would agree with that.
I like that.
Loving. Yeah. And then authoritative.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, definitely Virginia is, and definitely Cree is. And
yeah, those two.
This is going to be the same way too. Yeah. Yeah, you might get Yeah. Okay. All right. And then, okay, so what book you wish you would have written? You've dabbled and dabbled.
I wish I would have written.
Yeah. And you still can. Just by the way, just saying.
What book I wish I would have written? The ones I wish I would have written, I do plan to write.
Okay.
Yep, like the Rock from Atlanta's Finest.
Okay.
Nelson.
Yes.
I have a story for him. Just haven't taken time to totally mold it. A book I wish. Ooh, I know one I wish I would have written. I wanted to write it, but the publisher didn't want it. Dreamy's cousin. Dreamy had a cousin. She lived. It was her. It was Dreamy, her cousin, and their grandfather who lived together. Her cousin in Dreamy's story was in law school. I don't know why I can't think. Jordan. I think her name was Jordan.
I remember Dream, but I don't remember the cousin.
Yep, cousin was slick talking, and so I wanted to write her story, but I didn't because the publisher wanted the other girl's story, who I didn't have a story for. It was Jordan, okay. But I ended up writing In It to Win It.
Yeah.
Shay is always got starting some stuff.
Wait, but she will be very proud of the both of us because we did good. We did good. I don't know. Right. You go back and listen. I think we did really good. Yeah, she was giving you all the answers there for the business issues. But yeah. Okay, so Sharon, if guys, if you have any last questions for Sharon, we're gonna kind of wrap it up a little bit. We can keep her on forever and ever and ever, but we want her to come back. We don't want to hold her here till the next time.
I know Miss Brenda. I know her. She's always trying to be slick.
Listen, I have a duty to the people, you know what I mean? I got to get the info, but I'm not gonna, we was being good though. We was being good, Miss Brenda, we was being good. But okay, so if you guys have any last minute questions for Sharon, make sure you put them in the comments. But Sharon, so kind of tell us what's next now. We still thinking on this surrendering you, but we're going to be looking around the corner, looking for something else. So what do we got coming next?
As of right now, Essence Story is next, if I can get it together. Her and Jackson. Jackson is a firefighter. I do know that much. Mm-hmm. There's an ex-wife involved. And, of course, a few surprises.
Okay. Mama Tony, thank you so much for joining. Have a wonderful night. Much love to you.
Thank you, Mama Tony. So I do know Essence is next. I have a few ideas for this year. Not sure which ones are going to get done, but I am missing writing romantic suspense. So I'm 100% sure I will be writing something with some suspense in it in the very near future.
Okay.
And Nelson's story has been floating around in my head. And Nelson is part of the Atlanta's Finest series, but the Atlanta's Finest series is supposed to be ending, but we'll see.
So say you.
Oh, yes, Shay. I have a secret project coming up. I cannot wait to tell everybody.
Well, it won't be here because I can't handle that kind of pressure. So keep that. Do a newsletter.
I wouldn't even thought about it. If Shay hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah, look, listen, I'm gonna only let you tell whatever you can. I don't think I asked a damaging question there.
I can't tell about the secret project yet. I would, like I said, I wouldn't even thought about it had Shay not said anything.
Oh my God, that's just how in the dark it is. It's so deep. Yeah, so underground that she couldn't even remember it. Well, I'm glad she didn't because I don't need that kind of stuff on my conscience. So, so Sharon, so you know what? Someone who might look at this afterwards, they might just see this book. What? Yeah, that's what we said too. But Miss Brenda, she had already given us that toe tag. She
Yes,
already said she's done with it. Yeah. So, but you know.
however, if I bring Nelson back, though, that means I'm bringing back the Atlanta's finest.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Sharon, we love secret projects too. And you know what else I love about secret projects? I like finding out about them too. I'm gonna be on the prowl. I'm gonna be on the prowl. Okay. So if someone was just listening to this, listening to the replay or something like that, and then just so you guys know, we're talking about uh, uh, surrendering to you. But if they come on and they see this replay and they're thinking about surrendering to you, what suggestions of order would you give to someone to read this series?
Ideally, for me, I want somebody to pick up whatever book they find of mine first. Just pick it up and be able to read it. So I really do try to write them in a way to where you're not really going to be lost. However, I do know, since there's, characters are introduced in the first, book one of each series, and, you learn a little bit more about them with each book. So it's probably not a bad idea to start with book one. However, I do feel comfortable in telling people you should be able to pick up any of my books and just read one without feeling like you're totally lost. If nothing else, I hope it'll make you curious about other characters,
Right.
to make you want to read their books. But I think you can pick up pretty much any of the books and not feel like you're just totally lost.
Okay.
Or at least I hope. That's how, when I'm writing them, that's how I try to write them.
I think as a reader, I think that is a true statement.
Okay, good. That's great.
All right.
Yeah.
Any last words for us?
I was trying to read some of the questions, but I missed the ones that popped up.
I think there were toward the end there were more statements.
Oh yeah.
You got that one, and then I think
somebody said I could do the spinoff.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. See that now.
If I do Rock Story, that would definitely be book one of the spinoff from the Atlanta's Finest.
Yeah. So is that still you still got that on the table, or?
That's almost a definite I will be writing. Because I have a story idea. I just need to kind of massage it some of the ideas a little bit. And actually, I need to finish the Priestley first, and then.
Yeah. Well, you're doing.
I have a story for Rock.
Okay.
And it will be romantic suspense.
We like that. All right, guys. So we're going to shut it down. We're gonna lock that back door. And we're going to invite you guys back next time for whatever show we have. But if you have not subscribed already to the show, please do so that you don't miss any other shows that I do. I love books. I love talking about books. And I also love pairing them with wine. This particular story, there was Merlot. That was my pair for this one right here. And let me just tell you why. There was a reason why, too. I had a little spiel about it. I was going to ask why. I have a little spiel here, guys, and I wasn't ready for it because, I'm already trying to get in Sharon's business. So that was the most important thing. So I would say, because this one book for sure was emotionally layered and intimate. It wasn't chaotic. because a Merlot tend to be kind of smooth, plush, and
Okay. Oh,
expressive
I like
without
that.
powering. Yeah. So it kind of mirrored the books. I think the book's themes of softness, vulnerability, and emotional depth.
Okay.
So that's why I chose Merlot.
That's a
However,
good one.
yeah, if you are a non-drinker, I had something for you too. I had something for you too. How about a blackberry herbal tea?
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
And if you would like a recipe, I can find one for you. Because the blackberries are very deep, rich, just like the story. Uh,
You're good.
well,
I like that.
look, wait a minute. Shay, there are some in here, because some people do say, I'm not the wine. I don't drink wine. But hey, but you got to, you got to have something that appeals to everybody. Uh, we can do that. We can do that. How about this? If Sharon is agreeable, when Essence Story has come out, let's have like a little Zoom party, and then that way everybody can, well, not all at once, but everybody can talk, right? And
I
then
love that.
yeah, let's do that. After that, we're gonna have a Priestley wrap up story. How about that?
I love that.
Okay.
Now
All
you
right.
just got to remember to do it.
No, I'll remember to do it.
Okay. Okay, cool.
I remember to do it because all
I'll be
I
there.
was gonna bring you back here anyway. I was gonna drag you on back here. It's like, okay, now, yeah. So
I
this will be good.
love coming here.
And then what about? And then this way too. They probably are, but it's gonna be some wine. It's gonna be some liquor that's gonna be paired with these books. That's gonna be number one. Uh, but yeah, and so we can actually have it there, and then they we won't make it live. We'll just be in the room this time, so everybody can
Okay.
cut loose if they want to, and we can get some, maybe like some little secret. If your agent is amenable to you, you can share some secrets, and it'll only be for them in there.
Oh,
But how about
wouldn't that be cool?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hint, hint, Shay.
yeah. Miss Ola, but it's so much fun, honey. You know what? You're a big girl. Like we big girls over here, honey. Shay, no, Shay ain't gonna behave because she wouldn't be Shay. She is
True.
not gonna behave. She
That's
would not
true.
be Shay. We love that. All right, guys. So thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with me. Thank you for rocking with me all this time. I love you guys. Go out. Make sure you always smile. Be kind to yourself and to others. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.